We've all felt it, those moments when we find ourselves alone, isolated, or distanced from others in today's world, where we are surrounded by social media and constant connectivity. Feeling alone can seem overwhelming, but what if this loneliness isn't a punishment? What if it's part of a greater plan, a preparation for something far more meaningful? Allah doesn't place us in situations without purpose. Sometimes He isolates us, not to harm us, but to elevate us. Your loneliness may just be Allah's way of strengthening you, building your resilience, and preparing your heart for something greater. In this video, we'll explore 5 powerful signs from Islam that show how Allah might be preparing you for something much bigger, even during those lonely times. By the end of this, you might just find that your isolation is the beginning of a beautiful chapter in your life. Sign 1. Isolation is a time for reflection and connection with Allah. When you find yourself alone, it's often a time Allah provides for you to reflect and deepen your connection with Him. Instead of viewing isolation as a form of punishment, we can see it as a divine opportunity to reconnect with Allah on a deeper level. Our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, often sought solitude to reflect, especially in the cave of Hira, where the first revelation came. This time allowed him to receive clarity, guidance, and the strength to fulfill his mission. In these moments of solitude, it's essential to reflect on your purpose in this dunya. Ask yourself, what are my true goals? Am I aligned with my purpose? Use this time not to dwell on past mistakes, but to strengthen your resolve and prepare yourself for both the trials and blessings that Allah may place in your path. We often get caught up in the distractions of life, whether through social media, work, or relationships, making it harder to focus on what truly matters. In these quiet moments, the noise fades, and we're left with the clarity to refocus on our inner selves and our relationship with Allah. These moments of reflection are a gift from Allah to help realign our hearts and minds. Instead of regretting past errors, take this time to prepare yourself for whatever may come, whether it's a challenge or a blessing. This is your chance to reset and move forward with intention and trust in Allah's plan. Sign 2. Tests of patience are strengthening your faith. When you're going through a period of loneliness or isolation, it's natural to wonder why things aren't going the way you hoped. Perhaps your social circle has shrunk, relationships have become distant, or you feel disconnected from the world around you. It's during these times that Allah may be testing your patience and strengthening your faith. The Quran reminds us, "And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger, and a loss of wealth and lives and fruits. But give good tidings to the patient." These trials are not without purpose. They are shaping you into a stronger believer. You might often hear questions like, "Why is it always the poor who talk about patience? Is patience just a cover-up for not having wealth?" But let's clarify this. Tests aren't reserved only for the poor or those in hardship. Allah tests everyone, whether rich or poor, in different ways. Wealth, too, can be a test. Having abundance can challenge your humility, generosity, and responsibility. It's easy to forget your reliance on Allah when you have everything you want, but those who remain grateful and humble in wealth are equally tested. Wealth and poverty are both trials, and they test different aspects of our character. Being wealthy can test your gratitude and your willingness to share your blessings, while those with less may be tested in their patience and trust in Allah. Neither is an easier path, as both require strength and faith in different ways. Ask yourself, is your patience being tested because Allah knows you're capable of enduring, or is He testing your gratitude through the blessings you have? Each test, whether through wealth or hardship, has the potential to bring us closer to Allah, if we respond with the right attitude. In today's fast-paced world, Patience is becoming a rare virtue. Social media often pushes us into comparing our lives with others, making it harder to accept moments of isolation or struggle. But remember, patience in these moments is not just about waiting for something to change. It's about trusting that Allah is working behind the scenes to prepare you for something greater. Instead of seeing this time as a delay, reflect on how it could be a divine preparation. Are you being equipped with patience and resilience for something more significant? Perhaps Allah is molding your character and testing your endurance for a breakthrough that only He can see. It's during these difficult periods that your faith is refined. Keep pushing forward, knowing that these tests are not obstacles, but stepping stones to something far more beautiful. Sign 3. Growth in solitude leads to a greater purpose. One of the most profound signs that Allah is preparing you for something greater is when you find yourself growing during periods of solitude. At first, being alone may feel painful or isolating, but over time, you might notice that this time has allowed you to reflect more deeply on your purpose and values. It's in these quiet moments that you can focus on building your relationship with Allah without distractions. This is your time for self-reflection and inner growth. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, often sought solitude for reflection and spiritual growth. His time in the cave of Hira before receiving the revelation is a powerful example of how moments of isolation can lead to something far greater. But a common question arises, especially in today's world. If solitude is so valuable, why does Islam emphasize community? It's a fair question, as Islam greatly values unity and brotherhood. However, the time spent in solitude is not about cutting off ties with people permanently. It's about allowing yourself to grow spiritually and mentally so that you can serve your community and fulfill your purpose more effectively. This period of isolation is a time to recharge and realign yourself with Allah's plan. It's a chance to understand your role better, not only in your own life, but also within the Ummah. When you emerge from this time of reflection, you'll find that you're better equipped to handle the challenges of life and support those around you. In a world filled with distractions, social media, and constant noise, the ability to find peace and purpose in isolation is a powerful skill. It shows that you're not dependent on external validation or the opinions of others. Instead, you're relying on your inner strength and your connection with Allah. This is the kind of growth that can only happen when you embrace solitude. As you reflect on your own journey, remember that every challenge and moment of isolation has a purpose. Allah is preparing you for something that requires this period of growth, and when the time comes, you'll be ready to step into that greater purpose with confidence and clarity. Sign 4. Building inner resilience for greater responsibilities. Sometimes loneliness and trials are Allah's way of building you up for something bigger. When Allah tests you with isolation or struggles, it's not to break you, but to elevate you. These moments strengthen your character, preparing you for the greater blessings and responsibilities that Allah has planned for you. Many people ask, why am I facing so many challenges, even though I'm doing everything right? It's a common question when things don't seem to align with our efforts. But remember, the Quran reassures us. Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear. This tells us that the difficulties we face are not random. They are perfectly tailored to help us grow, building resilience for the responsibilities Allah knows we can handle. Could it be that your current struggles are a form of divine preparation for a future filled with greater opportunities and rewards? Your trials are shaping you into someone who can carry the weight of future blessings with strength and wisdom. After all, no one becomes strong without being tested, and no great responsibility comes without growth. If you're going through a period of hardship or isolation, Think of it as Allah's way of refining you and getting you ready for the next chapter of your life. Just like gold is purified in fire, you're being refined for something much greater. Sign 5. Strengthening your relationship with Allah. The deepest wisdom behind your isolation could be that Allah is calling you closer to Him. When we're surrounded by distractions, whether it's social media, friends, or work, it's easy to drift away from our spiritual connection. Sometimes Allah sets you apart so you can reconnect with Him on a deeper level. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, emphasized the importance of solitude for self-reflection and connecting with Allah. He often withdrew to the cave of Hira to reflect, which eventually led to the greatest revelation in history. Isolation, when viewed through the lens of faith, can be a golden opportunity to strengthen your bond with Allah. Have you noticed that when you're alone, your thoughts turn more towards Allah? Perhaps it's because He's inviting you to rely on Him alone, reminding you that He is the ultimate source of comfort and guidance. When everyone else seems distant, Allah remains close. And when my servants ask you concerning me, indeed, I am near. I respond to the invocation of the supplicant when he calls upon me. In these moments of solitude, take time for introspection, prayer, and seeking forgiveness. When everyone else seems distant, Allah remains close. And when my servants ask you concerning me, indeed I am near. I respond to the invocation of the supplicant when he calls upon me. In these moments of solitude, take time for introspection, prayer, and seeking forgiveness. This is your chance to build an unshakable connection with your Creator, preparing yourself for the blessings that lie ahead. As we've explored these 5 signs, it's clear that loneliness and isolation are not punishments, but divine interventions preparing you for something greater. Allah, in His wisdom, knows what is best for each of us, and often the most difficult periods in our lives are the ones that shape us into who we're meant to become. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Take advantage of 5 before 5, your youth before your old age, your health before your sickness, your wealth before your poverty, your free time before your preoccupation, and your life before your death." This hadith reminds us of the blessings we often overlook, and how isolation is an opportunity to reflect on these gifts and prepare ourselves for what is to come. So, if you find yourself feeling alone or facing challenges, trust that Allah is molding you into someone stronger, wiser, and more spiritually connected. Don't lose hope. Instead, use this time to build your relationship with Allah, and you'll find that greater blessings are on their way. I've noticed that many of you who watch these videos haven't yet subscribed. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring content. We'd love to hear your stories in the comments. How have these signs shown up in your life, and how have they helped you grow? May Allah continue to guide you and bless you on your journey.